Well, welcome back. Okay, well, got another story here for you. Since I work gangs, I've got some gang stories, and later on, I'm going to do a lot of vice stories because I work vice a lot. I worked a lot of gang units, years in gangs and years in vice. So I'll get some real juicy vice stories. I'll give you some parental warnings on some of those because they're pretty good, but not right now. We'll get a little bit. What I have now is I'm working patrol, and our police precinct had a very small coffee room, so most of the work and most of our interaction police reports, we did it in the coffee room. And small room, but there's like 8 or 10 tables, and we're in there, everybody's talking and doing whatever they're doing. So I'm doing some paperwork. I get up and I go to the front desk to talk to one of my supervisors, and in the lobby, I watch this gentleman come in with his son. His son's probably 14, 15 years old, and his son is staggering. He's under the influence of something, but that's not what drew my attention. What drew my attention is that from here up, and he has no shirt, from here up, and all his arms and his head is spray painted silver. Okay, he looks like the Tin Man. Okay, and of course he's under the influence. So his dad's got his arm, and the kid's doing this, right? So obviously the kid's been sniffing paint or something because he's high. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm just standing in the background because I figured he's going to come in, turn in his son, or do something. No, he gets to watch supervisor, and I'm standing there behind him, listening to this story. And let me back up first on this. We had a huge gang problem in our area, and shootings, cuttings, rapes, you name it. But they also had a huge gang members would do a lot of glue sniffing, or that's what we call it in the old days. Now it's paint sniffing. What they do is they buy a can of paint, it doesn't really matter what color, as long as it has the chemical in it, which is toluol or toluene. I learned that because I made a lot of these arrests. I went to court. They take off a sock or a plastic baggie, they spray the paint in there, then all day long they just walk along with it in their hand, and they take a hit once in a while, and they get really blasted. And according to the experts, because I've listened to them in court, this is as bad, as worse than alcohol because it kills brain cells. The toluene is a really bad chemical. So we had a really bad problem with that. And you go out and you stop somebody, and they're high on paint. And so you arrest them for being under the influence. And of course, they drop the charges if it's a juvenile because that's what they do with juveniles. They don't want them accountable for anything. And so it's kind of a frustrating thing for officers to come up with this kind of stuff because they know nothing's going to happen to them. Take them home and have to let them go with their parents and whatever. So it's kind of it's a tough thing for officers because you get frustrated because these guys are out there doing all kinds of bad things and you can't get them off the street. Back to the guy in the lobby. Okay. Apparently, some officers stopped his son and got frustrated because, again, he's a juvenile. They're going to let him go to mama. They have to take all the paperwork. So somebody sprayed him with paint. And the kid told his dad that officers sprayed him silver. And he's yelling. He wants to make a personnel complaint. He wants the thing investigated. He wants the officers to go to jail. And I'm listening going, well, I didn't do it. So I walk back to the coffee room. And I'm in there with my partner. We're doing our reports. And officers are coming in and out. Well, in about a couple of minutes, a couple of officers walk in. They're getting coffee. I look over. And actually both of them had silver paint on their hands. Okay? Okay. I'm not a homicide detective, and neither are you. But this is pretty simple to figure this out. It's like you're coming to a room, your child's got cake on his face, and there's a cake with a hole in it. Okay? It's obvious this is what they've been doing. So I look at them and go, hey. And they go, what's the matter? They got a kid in the lobby, and his dad wants some bloody H because he wants somebody sprayed his kids. We looked at each other, and out they went out that back door, and they were gone. So I went, okay, cool. Well, no sooner were they out that back door, here comes that watch sergeant. Let me see your hands. And I dummied up. Well, what's going on? Let me see your hands. I'm, okay, here. All right, let me see your hands. There's like 6 of us in there. He's all frustrated. He walks out the door. So he's gone. So I'm going. I look at my partner. Whew, we went back to doing our work. Hour goes by. We're doing because we each had a lot of reports to do. Here come those 2 officers in. They look over. They come in, big smile on their faces, and they sit down. And I'm going. I'm looking at everybody. The ones that were in there are looking at their hands. Well, they're as clean as can be. They're even manicured and lacquered. And I'm going. I know this till later. I go, hey, what happened to the hands? Oh, we went right to a manicurist. I said, uniform? Oh, yeah. We went to the manicurist, and we said, hey, look, we had to do a job down at the police station, so can you fix our hands up? Oh, sure. So they got them down. They soaked them in the fluid. They cleaned them off with files. They lacquered them and buffed them, and they're good to go. And sure enough, within a couple of minutes, 2 other officers walked in, and the sergeant goes back in. Oh, you 2, come here. He's pointing out the guy that he hadn't checked before. Let me see your hands. And the guys that had the paint, let me see your hands. They're going, oh, what's going on? He walks out. So we all looked at each other. We just kind of smiled back to work. There was a complaint made against someone the department investigated it, and it was determined that they couldn't determine whether the kid had told whether the kid had told his dad the truth, whether officers in fact painted his fingers or his body with their fingers, whether anything happened, because there's no witnesses to corroborate anything. So that's just the way it ended. And so we're kind of going, wow. And so Sergeant make a big deal. He goes, you know what? I don't know if officers did or not. And he kind of chuckled like, well, you know, if somebody did something, they got away with it. It's the way it is, and that's the way life is sometimes. You get away with some, and you don't get away with others. So that was the Silver Body gang member. I thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.